Hi, my name is Mary Materniak, and I live at Chesilhurst, B'nai B'rith in Chesilhurst, New Jersey.
And why do you enjoy living there?
I enjoy living there because I have the freedom with security there, because the last place that I lived, I was robbed.
Oh, yeah.
And I have the freedom to be able to come in and out of there knowing that no one is going to go into my apartment without my permission. No one is going to be able to come into the front door, and I would be, so I wouldn't be accosted by a stranger when I came home late at night. And sometimes I do come home late at night. Okay, I also enjoy living there because I like the people. They're wonderful people. I don't have any problems with the people there. They're friendly. They're nice. Management is nice. I have a good time talking to Marilyn all the time, so that's why I like living there. Okay.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small town, Fredericktown, Missouri. I'm basically a hillbilly. It's at the foothills of the Ozark Mountain. And I left there when I was 16 years old and married somebody who was twice my age. Had a couple of babies, and we're not going to go into all of that. Okay.
So how did you get into ministerial work?
I got into ministerial work because I had been baptized by a little mission that came into the valley for us, and they used to attract us children with hot dogs and soda, and we would come in and out of the church. And then one day I was looking in the window, and I saw the minister pounding on the piano, and he was singing songs, and the ladies were there with their paper-pleated fans, and the minister was singing, "Oh, how I love Jesus." And I said, "Who's that by?" So I went in and sat down, and that was the beginning of my relationship with the Lord. And then, of course, I walked away from him because my family really wasn't into us going to church. And then later on, I had been through some trials and tribulations in my life, and I moved to a 5-year-old boy, next to a 5-year-old boy. The 5-year-old boy came knocking on my door, and he said, "Hi, my name is David. How'd you like to go to church?" And I'm like, "Get out of here." "Hi." And he did this 2 or 3 times, and finally I said, "You know what? I got to get this kid off my back. I got to go to church." So I went to church, and when I walked in, I was absolutely amazed at what the minister was saying, and of course I started crying. And I said, "I'm not going back there." And as soon as I got home, "How'd you like church? You coming back?" It's all from a 5-year-old boy. So I went back, and I continued to go, of course. And then one day the pastor was walking by, and he said, "Come here for 1 minute. I need to speak to you." And him and his wife took me on the side, and they said to me, "We believe that God has called you into the ministry, and we would like you to enroll in Bible college." So I had thought about that, and I thought, this is the most peace that I had ever gotten in my life, being here. So I did. I enrolled in Bible college. I was working full-time, and I had the 2 children yet, and got through Bible college, and sometimes I would be sleeping in class, but I got straight A's. And then there was a mission trip to Calcutta, India. And the pastor said, "Why don't you go on that trip?" And I did. I went on the trip. And there was a lady who, they had sent us out, all of us missionaries out into different villages. And I went out to the Bengali Indians, and I was on a tree stump. And I was just preaching away. And I was preaching, God said, "Preach on healing." And I'm like, "You better know what you're doing, Daddy." So I started preaching on healing, and I said, "I know a God," and I was preaching right out of the Bible, and I said, "I know a God who can heal you, because he can live on the inside of you. He doesn't live in temples made with man's hands. He lives on the inside of us." So I began to preach this, and there was a lady in the very back, and she said, "Can your God heal this leg? I can't bend it." I said, "Okay." So I said, "By the time you get up here to this tree stump, you'll be able to bend that leg." And she started pressing her way through the crowd, just like the lady with the issue of blood in the Bible. And she started pushing her way through the crowd. And by the time she reached that tree stump, she was crying. And she started screaming, "I can bend my leg." And I said to the interpreter, "What's she saying?" And he said, "She can bend her leg." Well, I was hooked. I was really hooked. And from then on, of course, I visited 23 countries and gave conferences and preached and, have done things for the people, put roofs on pastors' churches and fed the people and all of these things. And And then I came in 4 years ago from being full-time. And I didn't really have a good place to live because I didn't have a whole lot of money. You know, you don't get paid for these things. You just go and let God supply. So I said, well, what am I going to do now? So I got a job as a caseworker for a caregiver, you know, for a company that supplied caregivers. And I said, okay, we can manage this. But I got into this apartment, and it was really too expensive for me. And like I said, I got robbed. And my daughter said to me, because my daughter's husband and, you know, children are Jewish. So she said to me, Mommy, why don't you try B'nai B'rith in Chesilhurst? They're HUD funded. And she said, and I said, oh, no, that's only for Jewish people. And she said, I don't think so. So I called Marilyn on the phone, and I said, Marilyn, I said, I'm a Gentile. And she said, oh, of course, come and apply. So she said, we can't do that. That's not right. That's discrimination. So I applied, and it was one of the greatest gifts that God has ever given me. I am very thrilled to be, I can't begin to tell you how thrilled I am to be there. It's a wonderful place to live. And like I said, you meet nice people. Look at Helen. It doesn't get any better than this lady. She's a real sweetheart. And there's things like, no matter where you live, that need to be ironed out, and they'll be ironed out. They always are. But it's great. There's plenty of places to park. There's lighting. You know, everything that you could possibly need. So I don't have I don't have to worry about wrestling some big down on the ground, you know, and beating him over the head with my pocketbook. So it's nice.
How have you
Okay.
been enjoying camp so far?
Camp is, you don't know how much I have prayed to do that Israeli dance. The 2 times that I went to Israel, you know, the circle dance, 2 times I went to Israel, I was bugging the guides, come on, we got to do this dance. And they're like, no, we're not going to do this dance. We're going to go. So I said, Lord, just put me someplace where we can do this dance. I have a love affair with Israel. God has placed that land in my heart, and I truly love the Jewish people. And by the way, my granddaughter knows every one of those dances, and she was trying to teach me so I could go home and say, oh, yeah. But it was just, with these kids, it's fantastic to be able to go to the dining room and see these children. And this is camp, and it's B'nai B'rith Camp. This is another gift. I'm like a little kid. I'm very excited. I don't want to go home. Yeah. I don't. It's great. And these are gifts from God that has been given to us. And, you know, I really do. I said, thank you, Lord. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not going to get teary-eyed because sometimes I do. But when you receive gifts like this, you know that they are from the Lord. This is a nonprofit organization that and I did not realize that they do all that they do. I had no clue. I thought they just did senior housing. Yeah. And listening to Janelle speak and talk about all the things that they do, I said, I am amazed of the things that's going on with them. It's just fabulous. So many people are being helped, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And, you know, our church, and I founded a little church. And I have some members who come in, and, you know, and we were helping Rabbi Ecclestein bring people from all over the world, Jewish people from all over the world, and bring them in. And we did it for a year, and then we started running low on funds. And we don't do a whole lot of fundraising because we're a church, and people say, pay your own way. But what we did do was we share now with another church, and we help them. So. But it was a real joy to help this rabbi bring the Jewish people in, and God has placed them in my heart, and it's just a great thing. I just can't say enough. Yeah. So give me more questions.
Well, which sessions in particular have you enjoyed?
I've enjoyed more than anything because my son-in-law is an attorney, so I enjoyed looking at the bylaws. I really enjoyed those. I also enjoy the media because I'm involved with media with this church. People have to know what's going on. So I enjoyed the media portion. I enjoyed, especially when Janelle was talking about the history because I didn't know anything about the history. So really all the sessions I truly enjoy. And what amazes me is that you people know what you're talking about. You're not up there faking it till you make it. You understand what I'm saying? You absolutely and truly know what you're talking about. And it's a joy to be able to sit down and relax and say, I don't have any problems with this because I'm getting correct information. So, but it was good. I mean, can't say enough, kid.